All right, what's up, Sprout? So sorry, buddy. We are live and in action here, streaming from Houston, Texas. Why not? It's armpit of America, but it's still a great place to do a live stream and teach you guys about your trees. My name's Matt Latham. I'm a board certified master arborist and registered somewhere consulting arborist, and I've got a few other credentials and all that. We've got this great little group, you guys. If you haven't joined, head over to Facebook and click on that Ask an Arborist page. Where are we? Where is it? There it is. It's these guys. You know why? Because we are like one of the fastest growing groups I've ever seen on the tubes of you and the face webs. We are currently about 9,886, I believe, last I checked. People growing strong, and we're about to hit that 10,000 mark, and that's really exciting, guys. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined we'd be here. 10,000 people, but here we are. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, for all of you that Sprout, for hanging out with us, talking trees and learning and growing and all that. It is, I think, I really do. I really think this. I think arboriculture is one of the best industries to be in because we are, and don't quote me on this, that guy right there, Mr. Jeffrey Lang, the guy that signed that plaque, he said, you guys are in an industry that is where modern medicine was in the 1950s and 1960s. Now, if you followed modern medicine, you understand that means that that we got a long ways to go, and we're defining things. We're really laying the foundation for this industry. I got to fix my hat. I had one of my marketing guys told me one day, he's like, at least if you're going to do videos, like put your hat on straight. So this is, by the way, some good friends of mine. If you don't know Microlife, they make an amazing product. They do. Hey, what's up, Kayla? Glad to have you here. Thanks for being here. We had a great time this weekend, by the way, at Grippon Gardens. We were talking trees, basically. We put up our big Ask an Arborist plaque. Maybe Lucas, if you don't mind, see if we can throw a photo up on that. Did I send you those? I'm so bad, you guys. I'm so bad. But basically, we're here to teach you about your tree problems. We've got this amazing group, and again, if you haven't joined us, go over there and give it a thumbs up and subscribe, or whatever you do on FaceWebs nowadays. And we're answering all your great tree questions, because the reality of the matter is trees are good for people, and it turns out that humans need trees. If you don't know that yet, try living without them. By the way, try building a house without them. By the way, try eating fruits without them. It's just not possible. And it turns out trees have much more effect on humans than just that. They are, believe it or not, mental health goes up, mental depression, ADD symptoms go down, suicide rates go down, crime goes down in an urban environment with mature trees. When you have, by the way, crime goes up when you have an urban environment with young trees. So for all of those groups out there that are condemning the trees so that they can make $1 million or $2 million planting new trees, tell them no. That's bad. Get them out of here. We want guys that want to preserve trees. We want guys that want, and gals, of course, that want to take care of the people in their communities. By the way, trees are a great way to do that. So really appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Sprout's talking. I just went on a run and we had a ton of box elder trees leafing out because it's been way warmer than normal. I don't want to hear about warm, dude. It's like 85 here, bro. And we're actually like a month or so ahead by trees leafing out wise. That's crazy. So, and Sprout brings up a good point. Box elder is in the ash family, technically. They are one of the last to bloom. They're up there with like pecans. I get calls every year. My ash tree's not blooming. My pecan tree's not blooming. What's going on? I think it's sick. It's like, no. They're just genetically programmed to show up later. That's okay. So this is why it's so important. There was a guy named Alex Shigo. We call him the father of modern medicine. Alex Shigo used to say, he said the three most important things you can to know as an arborist is to be a good arborist is to, 1, know your tree, 2, know your tree, and 3, know your tree. So it's important. By the way, there's about 70,000 trees on this planet, different species, different varieties. That's not including the hybrids, all the guys playing genetic god and making these new trees. That's not including all the sub varieties. So you got like live oak, you got Quercus virginiana, And then you've got several other coast live oaks. You've got red oak, you've got Texas red oak, you've got Shumard red oak, you've got all these different trees. So it's 70,000. That's not including the variety. So it's important to know your tree, know your tree, know your tree. Those box elders, they do tend to leaf out a little bit later. Did I say ash? I meant family. Sorry, you're right. I said ash, didn't I? Yeah, leaves out in the soonest of native trees. Really? I thought they leafed out later. I may be wrong in that, dude. It's not the first time, I promise. Or the last. That's crazy. Now, if I'm writing a report on it, I'm going to do my research. But started to leaf out too. As you can see, I'm very excited about spring. Right? Spring is such a wonderful time. 80 up here. Wow. That's actually shocking. He's up in the Great North, basically to Canada, I think, right, Sprout? Somewhere up there. That may as well be the North Pole in my book. It's like 85 here. It's crazy. So I've been rambling for a long time. Y'all aren't here to hear me talk. You're here to hear me answer your great tree questions. I'm not sure about how soon they do by you, though. Yeah, they usually leaf out pretty late, actually. I'm gonna have to look into that because I may be wrong in that, but you know, they all the trees start to blend together. I will say this: box elders, the leaves look exactly like poison ivy. So I remember we were at the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens doing some work. I'm removing a Gigantonormo, I mean at least 150, 200 years old, hackberry, and underneath me, I just look down and my rope is tangled up in poison ivy, just completely in it. It's being rubbed around in it and all that. I'm screaming, I'm yelling at my guys. They finally move it, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Move, get through the job. I'm gonna be itchy when I get home and need to take a shower and get those oils off of me. I get down, I hit the ground, and Mr. David McDonald comes up to me. He's an older gentleman in his 70s at the time, I think. He says, "Hey Matt, I think I figured out what that tree was. Why you thought that was poison ivy?" And he says, I said, "What is it?" He says, it's a box elder." I said, "I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm such a jerk." It clicked immediately. Like, I'm over there screaming at my guys for having my rope and poison ivy on the ground, and that's not cool. So, anyways, like I said, with that being said, let's get into y'all's great tree questions. So, El Renew and R, this one. Let me refresh it. Lucas saying I missed one. Something like my bride over here. Missed a spot. Or my employer. Ooh, we got a couple of them here. That's fun. Red Falcon's there. We got Anthony Haddad as well. Follow up from yesterday. I've dug this far down. I found root flares. What do you all think is the next step? I love that. Well done, Anthony. Keep that good stuff up. The next step is you want to pull a little bit more of that soil away, particularly in this area right here. You can kind of see it's good. That's spot on what you're looking to do, but you're not done yet. I think you need to go a little bit further. On the right side, you're starting to see some of those root flares. On the center here, you're starting to see a little bit of that flare out. I want to see it a little bit more. Now, what you can do is take a little air compressor with an air gun, and you can spray some of that dirt off, just clear it out. High pressure water works too. But either way, it looks like a really dense clay, kind of like we've got here in Houston. And yeah, you're going to want to clear it out just a little bit more, not too much. What's that, Lucas? What'd you say? Oh, you're good, man. Yeah, so you're going to want to clear that out quite a bit, and you know, you're doing a great job. If you were to leave it there, I would say your tree is in a much better condition than it was. But if you want to get it perfect, you want to keep going a little bit on this right side and on this center side. The left side, I really like that. The next step, though, that's what you're asking here, Anthony Haddad, is you want to actually add like a good bit of organic mulch, and think of like a forest. Is you've got 6 to 12 inches of what we call the organic layer. Now, the organic layer is basically all of the tree debris, all the leaves and sticks and twigs, and even some whole trees will fall down to the forest floor. They're going to unalive, they're going to fall down, and that's going to feed the microbes. That's going to feed all of the beneficials, the bacteria, the endo and ectomycorrhizals, even some of the nematodes and roundworms and things like that. There's a whole ecosystem that goes on underneath the forest floor. You want to recreate that because God did it best. Walk into nature, walk into the forest, and that works. We don't have to care for the forest, generally speaking. We don't. There's about a dozen or maybe 15 pests and pathogens that will come in and non-discriminately wipe out an entire species or an entire forest or whatever. 9 times out of 10, that's just not going to happen. It's just not the case. And so it's really important to essentially give the tree what it needs, and it gets everything it needs in the forest. So doing a nice clean, like 2 to 4 inches of organic mulch, maybe a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of compost underneath that will help to start to continue that process and create a forest floor for your tree. And that's what it wants. So very important. Whenever I go in and amend soils, that's one of the first things I do is either rototill, like a mechanical tiller, if we're not really worried about tree roots, setting up trees for success. Or if we have tree roots there and we don't want to damage them, we'll actually use an air spade to push all that organic matter into the soil, create that perfect condition, and then come in with a top layer dressing of organic mulch. Very important. So Anthony, you're on the right track, man. Just keep that up. Go a little bit further, add some mulch. That's the answer right there. All right. So Red Falcon, what's up, Red Falcon? Not sure if this is a good specimen. Looks like a crepe myrtle, I think. Could be a hawthorn, maybe. I think it's crepe myrtle. Oh, Tuscarora. Yeah, that's crepe myrtle. In front yard where the hurricane blew over other tree over. One in 20 to 30 foot wind resistant shade tree. This came with 3 stems. Help from University of Florida Master Gardener said 2 stems were bad, so I'm slowly removing those. The 3rd stem you can see is split into three vid. Third, I don't know what that means. 3 in vid. 3rd one to be slowly removed. This is at 4 feet above ground. I can post more pics. Should I find a better specimen, or can this one be pruned and trained for strong height? West Central Florida. This thing told me it will make nickname, but I can change it. It did not let me change it. That's fine. Red Falcon makes sense. I know who you are. Lucas knows who you are, and we will keep you anonymous. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. What I'm seeing here is you're making good reduction pruning cuts. Let's just watch the video, y'all. The only thing I would change, and hold on just a second. Let's see. I need my snippet. Hold on, I gotta answer this phone call. Ethan was telling me about something. Yeah, it's okay, guys. We're gonna put a hold on it real quick. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm on my live stream. What can I do for you? Quick. Yeah. Did y'all get them all planted? Is she there? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I'll try to tell them to, yeah, I'll try to, do me a favor, text me that and I will give her a heads up. Awesome. Thanks, man. And talk to you later. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Business continues. The show must go on, as they say.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
All right. So the only thing I would say, Red Falcon, is you've left a stub here, and that's okay for now. On a young tree like that, it's probably okay. But in a perfect world, what you'd want to do is you would want to actually come in and change that. Oh, why is that doing that? That's gross. There we go. That's better. What you want to do is actually make this back to here instead of there, and that's going to make a big difference. Yeah. So we'll save that as Red Falcon's tree. But you're on the right track. I can tell, Red Falcon, you're doing what we call pruning, or pruning cycles. That's the term. So most people want to just like cut the limb off all willy-nilly and hope for the best. The reality of the matter is that can actually really do significant damage to a tree. Because what happened, we call it amputation cuts. Whenever, like, let's say I've got a big giant red oak and I make a big cut that's 6 inches in diameter. Well, that's going to take that tree like 10, 15, 20 years to seal that wound. And in the meantime, fungal pathogens will start to enter into that tree and decay it. But by reducing the pruning cuts here, you're actually doing the exact right thing that you're supposed to, Red Falcon. So what that does is allows the rest of it to catch up. It allows the tree to start sloughing off that particular limb. It's really important that you do it in pruning cycles. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but Tuscarora, by the way, is a great variety. They're very hardy. I don't know where you're at and where you're from, but very, very good variety. They do really well. Very low maintenance. Yeah, I agree. I think the Master Gardener may be right. You want to reduce maybe one of these sides as well. That's going to be really important. Bro, I love your, or broette. Yeah. I love your mulch bed, by the way. That is, you already got the forest floor. We were talking about doing the forest floor and recreating it earlier. You already got it, dude. You're doing great. I love that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and post this. And quite frankly, y'all, for those of you that are paying attention right now, take notes. Red Falcon's got it right. Don't do grass if you can avoid it. Obviously, we have HOAs, we have certain bylaws and things like that we have to adhere to. But grass, turf grass, your St. Augustines, your Bermudas, your bluegrasses, things like that, they're not ideal. They are far from ideal. In fact, walk into a forest. How does it work? That's what the tree wants. So that's what you're looking for. So, bro, I think you're doing a great job. I think keep that up, and let me post you this. But that is really, that's the only difference I would do is just make sure you make those cuts right, because you've got some stub cuts. You want to cut them back to a good lateral branch. That way the tree can seal that wound, and you can, and it starts prepping. So when you reduce, let's say you've got like 5 leaves here. When you reduce one of those, that's going to stimulate growth in the remaining ones. So really important to make those reduction cuts first and then come in and make the big pruning wound. So but I think you're on the right track. Carry on. Carry on. All right, so anonymous. Look at this. This is what's crazy here, you guys. We are blowing up so much and growing so fast. I can't even keep up with it. Look at that. 2 minutes ago, cool. 12 minutes ago, cool. Okay, that's 10-minute difference. There's not enough live streams in the world to be able to handle all this, you guys. 13 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. Green Goddess. I don't know what you're doing here. Most dangerous animal, deer, tick, Lyme disease. Actually, it's not the most dangerous animal. Mosquitoes are. Mosquitoes are. Sorry. 13 minutes ago. Lucas, are you just pushing things through just to make me mad and keep me busy? Okay. 18 minutes ago. Green Goddess is a juice company, I think, if I remember correctly. Like a fruit and vegetable juice.
I didn't see anything on the.
Matthew
I
Filla.
don't even see it right now.
Matthew Filla. Refresh. It should be there.
Well, on his, I just see Lyme disease prevention. So I thought that was. Yeah, I'm looking at Matthew Villa. I thought his was about Lyme disease.
Yeah. I'm wondering what this is, though. It's a direct link to YouTube. I'm not a fan of
Yeah,
that.
talking about
Alright, so you were
animal ear-tick Lyme disease on
Yeah.
YouTube.
44 views 22 hours ago. What are you doing with your life, Matthew? You got a great name, bro. I got to tell you.
It didn't have self-promotion.
Oh, wow. That's your only video? All right. Maybe you could stay. I love it. Okay.
talking about the most dangerous animal in Minnesota, Wisconsin. This is going to come into play later. This is a tick gator, is what it's called. So it's the black-legged tick or deer tick. And the reason they're the most dangerous animal is because of Lyme disease. Lyme disease infects over 13,000 Minnesotans a year.
Hey, by the way, y'all, I has Lyme disease. I know exactly what you're talking about, Matthew. I hope you don't have it, but shoot, if you're in Minnesota, you probably got it, bro. Everybody's got it nowadays. But malaria is actually more dangerous.
For 20,000 people in Wisconsin every year. And that includes reported and unreported cases, which is the vast majority, about 85% of cases they estimate are unreported. Very difficult disease to detect.
It is.
Debilitating, you get neurological symptoms.
Yep.
Cardiovascular.
Yep.
Incredibly debilitating.
Yep.
So some ways that we can try and avoid tick bites is one, try to avoid areas with long grass like this back.
Hey, I'll tell you one way we can do. We can stop all this gain of function stuff. That would help because that's where Lyme is actually the guy that discovered Lyme disease, Dr. Borrelia or Dr. Bergdorfer, Dr. Bergdorfer, I think it is. Anyways, he was an ex-Nazi research scientist. That y'all get this. I can't even make this up. His specialty was gain of function research. The guy that discovered this, he was an ex-Nazi researcher who discovered Lyme disease, which happens to be a manufactured disease. Anyways.
This is where you're going to find ticks generally.
Yeah.
You're not going to find them in lawns very often. You can have them there far more frequently. You're going to find them here. Ticks are going to be sitting on that grass. They're going to have their legs up. They're going to be doing something called questing, which is basically trying to grab
stuff. Yeah.
They're not dropping out of trees like some legends say. They're not going to jump. They're just going to be.
I love that, Sprout. I love that, dude. Yes, there's.
So avoiding parks that you would suspect or habitat.
There's some good ones out there.
Something.
They're few and far between, though.
Two is you want to do permethrin.
Yep.
Treat your clothing so you can treat your outerwear and let it dry. That's going to last about 3 to 4 months, possibly, unless you continue to do washes. So that's why it's a little bit inconvenient to do it, and the vast majority of us don't end up doing it. Third reason, or third way to avoid tick bites.
Burn down Plum Island. Y'all didn't hear that from me, though.
Is to throw your clothes into the wash, or into the dryer. Don't throw them in the wash, and don't put ticks down the sink. They survive water very, very well. So
but they don't.
You may have seen this.
They don't survive abrasion, though. So the washing machine rubbing and scrubbing is going to kill them most of the time too.
Wash ticks down the sink, down the toilet. They'll come back out. So put them in the dryer. They'll cook them and kill them. And then fourth way is use my services. And that would be me applying tick tubes in your yard.
Oh, I
The
see.
tick tube is kind of like a toilet paper roll. It has cotton soaked with permethrin, same ingredient that's in these tick gators. Very low toxicity, incredibly toxic to ticks. So
I see what you did there, Matthew. That's great. But you got a product to sell, buddy. I'm gonna have to delete this post. That's all there is to it. Oh, there's a product. Yeah, he's selling a product, is what that is. Green Goddess. Let's see. Green Goddess, Minnesota, don't you know?
Alright, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. What a jerk. ISA certified arborist, but you do tick treatments. Which is a needed service. I don't have a problem with what you're doing. Also, I know those are not that's plagiarism, buddy. Yeah, watch out. Green Goddess, you're a dude, aren't you? Or maybe you work for the Green Goddess, whoever that is. Let's see. I'm just tinkering right now, yo. Nip it in the bud. No, that's you. That's my boy. I don't remember your name. Matthew. How did I not remember your name? Matt Fila. Green Goddess. You're a dude. Anyways, sorry, you're banned. Bye, Felicity. I appreciate what you're doing, but like that doesn't fly in our group. You should definitely keep doing that. Keep doing that, man. We need to kill a lot of ticks. They're bad. Okay. So Anonymous is asking, Can digging a hole approximately 6 inches away from a huge palm destabilize it? My neighbor dug up all kinds of roots by his palm that is literally 3 inches from property line. He was putting down PVC pipe for some reason, probably to water and fertilize it. That's pretty normal. It also is not very effective. Like, Matt just transplanted like 30 trees. Yeah, we sure did. That was exhausting. Yeah, and what's up?
On a deleted post. So, did anonymous participant delete their post?
Oh, I don't know. Can
I'm trying to type on.
Oh yeah, anonymous. Okay, yeah, that's gone. Sorry, anonymous. I'm not gonna help you if you delete your post. All right, so 13 minutes ago, Doug Orff said planted this blue spruce in the fall. A deer rubbed it before I put the cage around it. Now the section above the roach part isn't coming out in spring. What's the best route to take from here? That really stinks because you've got an apically dominant tree. Apically dominant means it's got a strong dominant central lead. That basically means it wants to grow up and not out. And so that really stinks. Blue spruce are such pretty trees too. I love those things. We actually there's a couple varieties that do pretty well here in, well, really North Texas. They don't do well in Houston, but whenever I see like Atlas spruce or something, like they're such beautiful trees. Deer rubbed it before I put the cage around it. Now the section above the rub spot isn't coming out in spring. Not surprising. What's going to have to happen is that tree is going to have to resprout and grow a new dominant lead. And so what you're going to want to do is prune that back to a good lateral branch. That's going to be really important for reestablishing the canopy. Fortunately, Doug, you got a super young tree. I mean, the tree is like a baby. So I think you're okay. I think you're not. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater quite yet. And yeah, it stinks. Right now, it's going to be a mess. One thing you can do, and I think I just did a video about this, is you can actually sprinkle like cayenne pepper. Just sprinkle cayenne pepper on there, and that will every time those deer come in to rub their antlers and you know, they're kind of like rodents. Rodents have to chew constantly something, so they like chew on wood fibers, they chew on paper fibers, things like that. And that actually helps to sharpen and keep their teeth at bay. Otherwise, those teeth would keep going and they would eventually cause such problems that it could cause brain damage to the rodent. So rodents, it turns out, don't like brain damage either. So they chew on things. Same with the deer. Those antlers get big and heavy, so they'll rub them. You know, maybe they got an itch or whatever. They'll scratch their heads, and the antlers will cause damage. But when you put a little cayenne pepper on there, they're like, oh, rubbing it all over their head and their face. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to rub my head and my face in cayenne pepper. They will learn. They will absolutely learn. So that's a great way to prevent them. Regarding what to do now with the blue spruce, I would just cut it back to a good lateral branch and see what the tree does. Now, the one thing I will say, Doug, I don't see a root flare here, but you've also got a full to ground plant. So full to ground meaning it's covered in leaves all the way down to the ground. And so I don't see it as a problem. That's actually a good thing. So anyways, yeah, I just make sure, very important, Doug, you want to make sure your root flares are not buried. I recorded a video a long time ago and I still have yet to edit and post it and all that, but I'll get that to you. But let's see, this DEI, learn about root flares. Let me give you a video that you can take a look at, and if you want to make sure to excavate the soil. That's going to be really important. Make sure the soil and the mulch and all that are not touching the base of the tree, because if they are, that can cause serious damage to the tree later on down the road. And it's subtle. It doesn't. Whoa, what happened? There we go. My internet's just slow. Rachel, I disagree. It's such a young tree. It's got time to recoup. Leave alone till fall. Water it one time each week. That's questionable too. Leave it alone. Just trim it down to the new growth. It will set up a new leader to take over. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Same thing happened to this guy. It took a little, it looked like crap for a while, but it should grow out. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That is the best management practices in this case scenario. Rachel, I'm sorry. That's just not true. Top is destroyed. Now, on a mature tree, if we were talking about a tree that's been in the ground for 30 years, absolutely. Yeah, I like nothing personal, Rachel. You're just wrong. Yeah, I feel yeah, it's all personal. It is personal. That's bad advice, Rachel. I feel like if it doesn't come back this year, then it's not going to come back next year. No, it isn't. No, that section that the deer rubbed on is unalived. For all intents and purposes, it's gone. What you have to do is reestablish the canopy. And the branch, the tree might split off into two. What you could do is reduce one of those, and then you'll just have like a weird crook in it for like 5-10 years, and eventually it'll sort itself out. Trees are like the best survivors I know of. I can't think of any animal or creature that God created that is better at surviving. So that's all there is to it. But they have limitations, of course. So, all right, we're moving on. Hope that helps, Doug. We got Jim. What's up, Jim? 13 minutes to go. Lucas, we're gonna get a whole like 30 minutes into this before we run out of time. Or yeah, like 30 minutes in the past. What's that? No, I know, but we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Did we look at that one? We didn't do Sarah Gatlin. Am I talking too much? Do I need to shut up and move along? Would or would not? All right, tell me to shut up if you need to. Hey, boss, shut up. I give you permission, 100%. Like, hold me accountable, dog. Brah, shut your mouth. All right, Jim's asking. This is about the size and weight of a potato. Came from my oak tree, and I've never seen anything like it. That is a gall. I don't get me lying about what kind, but that is a gall. By definition, a gall is an insect that stings it and lays its eggs, and the tree forms this weird growth around it. It's very common. That is a bur oak. I think it's a bur oak. It could be a white oak of some sort, but yeah, I'm actually thinking white oak. It's some sort of white oak. I don't know specifically. That's awesome. I did not know oak galls got that big. I think it's pretty cool too. Like the weight of a potato. That is super cool, Jim. You're stumping the arborist here. I've never seen that either. That's a big gall. That's exactly my thoughts. Or apple gall. I've heard that actually. Apple gall. I wonder if a pawpaw is a type of tree, Neil. I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean there. A little wasp lays an egg in the bud of what would become an acorn. Wait, let me see the leaves. It's a white oak. You see it sprout? Swamp white oak. That's a cool tree. I really like swamp white oak. And they do really well overall. That's one of those trees like I expect in 200 years when I'm long gone, we will have a lot of swamp white oaks. And Mexican white oak's another one that I really am falling in love with. Sprout, you see it? That's a white oak. Just a standard, ordinary, regular white oak. Yep. Quercus alba, A-L-B-A. Yeah, that's potato. We're going to call that potato gall. I'm just making up words now, y'all. That's a big gall. Pawpaw, oak gall, or apple. Little wasp lays an egg. This is very accurate.
Wait, let me see.
Can y'all see me? I just hit that, like, I got one of these fancy gaming mices, and it's got a little button that if you accidentally hit that one button, it goes back. I know I had to like refresh everything. So all right, we're back at it, y'all. Jake wins the prize for the most accurate and awesome response.
By the way, did you already announce all the people for the peach tree thing?
No, I didn't. Holy smokes, you guys.
Let's do that today on the live.
Okay, before we go, you guys, we had a cool event at Grippon Gardens. That was Kayla Grippon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Grippon. I know you're Kayla, of course, but she came on and her and her husband run a really neat little nursery called Grippon Gardens, and they have a little landscape company called Lynn's Landscaping. Lynn is grandfather, I believe, and super cool family business. They also I fully support because they do things right. And when Justin, the husband, and I talk, and I say, "Hey, Justin, you got to do this to your trees to make sure they're better," he does them. I love it, and I'm not trying to knock on you guys when I tell you, "Hey, this is a better way to do things." I just have read too many stinking books and I know too much. Of course, there's always that little catchphrase. They said, "Nobody cares about what you know until they know how much you care." So I try to be like gracious and all that, but I'm a rougher on the edges tree guy. So what can I say? So anyways, shout out if you're in League City. They are amazing, or surrounding Friendswood, Pearland, anything like that. If you're on here in the south side of Houston, southeast side of Houston, Grippon Gardens, huge shout out. We had a fun time this Saturday, Lucas and I going, and we put up our Ask an Arborist little booth there. Hold on, I think I got pictures here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Chantel, I don't know if you're live stream watching this or not, or if you'll see it later, but Chantel is as she's a friend of trees. I have not forgotten about you. I will reach out to you and answer your question. You had reached out. I'm sorry, I've had a lot of life going on in the past week, 2 weeks, month, year, 8 years, somewhere in there. Saturday, here we are. So we set up a little Ask an Arborist booth. There's Lucas and myself. We had a wonderful time, Kayla. So we really appreciate you guys reaching out and having us come out and come talk trees with you guys. Come hang out with a great set of nursery folks. And if you need trees here in the Houston area, they're your go-to people. People, great folks. Trees, landscape plants, whatever. So I need to change that. It says Ask the Arborist. I need to change it to Ask an Arborist. All right, so we've been rambling again. Sarah, what's up, Sarah? Thanks for commenting and bringing your questions here. Looks like a mesquite tree, does it not? What is that? Hi, so we inherited this mesquite tree. There we go. When we moved in 2021, it never really looked healthy. My husband and I saw the black bark, which appears to be charred, and although I'm not almost certain it's been struck by lightning, I'm almost certain it has not. It is more likely it's sickly. I'm wondering if there is a fix or if it is doomed. For reference, it's taller than our second-story house. Phoenix, Arizona, right next to a wildlife preserve. No, I think you've probably got a drought-stressed natural tree. It isn't that shows zero evidence of any sort of lightning strike to me. But maybe you can tell me a little bit more about it and give me a little more insight. Mesquite trees are desert trees. They are very, 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 very slow growing. I see the black stuff you're talking about. To me, it looks like bacterial wetwood, or it could be Phytophthora or some sort of fungal pathogen like that, like specifically a water mold fungus. But
You don't notice the big elephant there? All those rocks all the way around, soil.
But that's just Arizona, man. That's okay. That's normal. The thing about mesquite trees, it's a desert tree. Yeah, that's just Arizona. So you've got a natural native tree that nobody has probably ever watered a day in their life, Sarah. And that's normal. Trees will grow in the desert. Yeah, it looks like you lost a limb here. You got some dieback. That's okay. But I see a regular tree that's got some harsh conditions to grow in, and he's just keeping on. Here's what I would do, Sarah, is I would actually lay down a layer of mulch. You can get like Afghan pines grow out there in Phoenix, pine needles, pine bark. Those are going to be great mulches, but put that down all around it and wait a couple of years. I would be willing to bet money that you're going to see a totally different tree. That tree's going to light up like a Christmas tree because you're feeding the microbes, you're adding organic matter to the soil, you're improving the overall structure. Sorry, distractions. We got a lot of work going on here in Houston. Anyway, Sarah, yeah, I think you've got a little bit of a slime mold or something. That could have been even painted, honestly. I'm wondering maybe if it was just painted that way. Like they pruned and they cut it. They cut the wounds and then they sprayed it with like a black tar, all that tree coat and all that nonsense. Not a fan, to be honest. Not a fan at all. But that to me looks like just a regular drought stress tree. When you go through periods of like a month or two where you don't have any irrigation, if you can supplement it, I know you're in Arizona, you're in the desert, then that would be helpful. What you don't want to do is just freak out, start pumping a bunch of fertilizer into it, start pumping a bunch of tree drugs into it. I think you've got a regular, normal, ordinary drought-stressed desert tree and totally normal. That mulch is going to be super critical. If you give that tree just like a fine 2 to 4 inch layer of finely ground mulch and then put like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of compost underneath that, man, you're going to see like just such a totally different tree. Especially compared to all the rest of it, because I look out there and I see this beautiful desert environment. And everything's struggling because it's not in the forest, but that's normal though. You should not expect to see big, beautiful red oaks and apples and pears and cedar elms and all that. Like that's not normal in the desert. Trees have to adapt. So what's great is you do have the perfect tree for that environment. So, anyways, hope that helps, Sarah. I am moving on. Jones Born. What's up, Jones Born? Thanks for being here. I see you've got a sapsucker infested tree. No, I don't think you should cut your losses. I think that is very, very subsurface. Not subsurface. Like on the surface. It's not a big deal. That's very surface layer. Not the prettiest thing in the world. You do have, let's see these root flares. Where's your root flares? Oh, come on. Show me the root flares. Come on. Such a tease, Jones. What you're going to need to do, you're going to need to expose the root flares. That's going to be really important. It looks like you've got a really compacted soil too. And so I'm just looking. Oops. What? What's that? Oh, yeah, that's yeah, don't use fair use music on there. Yeah, that's a sapsucker thing. What you've got is a stress tree. And stress trees get sick. Healthy trees stay healthy. So these sapsuckers are going off after an already weakened tree. What you need to do is you need to do about a 1/4 inch layer of compost all the way around that tree. You need to expose the root flares. That's going to be super hypercritical. And maybe give it like a little supplemental watering every now and then when the tree's gone under a drought period for a while. So I think that's basically all that's going on here. It's just a drought stressed tree. The sapsuckers will come in and take advantage of that drought stressed tree. So really important to take those stressors away. That's step one. Step two, just hang a little tin foil. So hang a little aluminum foil or whatever out there. That's going to deter the birds from coming in. They'll see all that light glimmering off it and they'll be like, danger. And they'll go to the next tree. All right, we're moving on. Ben, what's up, Ben? Thanks for being here. Dealing with heaving sidewalk from tree roots. That is a cherry tree, and it is beautiful. Oh, my goodness. I love that. I didn't even see the whole tree, but I can tell, man. That is just like, look at those colors. Oh, my goodness. I want one of those, but they don't grow in Houston. I'm a little jealous. Cut it, water it, it'll be fine. That is a really surface level answer, Albert. And I know you're not a surface level guy. I know you're a smart arborist. I know you, homie. Don't give me that weak sauce. Looks like you got a little pittosporum with a little Phytophthora. I would imagine you probably water the daylights out of that area. But correct me if I'm wrong here. Who are you? Ben, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ben. I'm a loser and a scoundrel. Got a section of sidewalk's been lifted significantly by a mature tree root. See the photo? The tree is healthy and I'd like to keep it that way. I'm looking for a solution that corrects the sidewalk without compromising the tree. Bro, I got just a solution for you, Ben. All right, bridging. When was that? Oh, here we go. That's a good one. Hi. I just realized I'm like right here in the camera. You can't see me. It's getting weird up in here. All right, so this was just a podcast that I did just recently. That's a great photo. I was actually looking for a different one. Driveway, I think is the search term I use. I don't even remember what I titled my videos. I got like 400 or something on here. It's getting, I think you could say it's getting pretty serious. Did I do that well? You know the reference, right, Lucas? It's Napoleon Dynamite. I think you can say it's getting pretty serious. Okay, so hope that helps. That's just one great solution. That's not the end all be all. Another solution is you could just do decomposed granite. Just simple. Keep it real simple. Try not to damage any of the roots. Another option is you could do like a paver stone type setup. You're gonna have to amend it over time. Ah, that's hilarious. Anyways, hold on. Let me finish Ben's. Sorry, Ben. I'm like ADD up in here. Yeah, so you could do like alternative means of putting in some sort of walkway. You can do a paver grid system where you've got these 2x2, 2x4, 2x2 sheets where you fill it in with gravel. They've got kind of like little circle or hexagonal type of grid pattern. Let me just show you here. Paver grid. This is a good alternative to the reality of the matter is you're not going to win. The tree's going to keep growing. He's going to keep doing his tree thing, being a big old bad tree, and he's just going to live and he's going to grow and he's going to keep doing that. And if you can keep that cherry tree alive, realistically, it's only going to get worse. But if you do these things, either the root bridging or some sort of paver grid or even just paver stone, you should be able to get away with it and just kind of mold it around the roots. Try to keep as many of the roots as possible. I think your best bet is to get the root bridging done, but that's few and far between arborists that know what that even is. Here, hold on. If you can find a competent arborist, hold on just a second, Lucas. If you can find a competent arborist that doesn't know root bridging, have them buy this $40 or $50 book. And let's see. Root bridging. Root barriers, root bridge, right? Root bridging! Come on now. Oh well. Bridging. I know it's in here. Bridges. 27. Yay! There it is. Bridges and ramps, page 27. Right here in Reducing Infrastructure by Roots by Costello and Jones is a wonderful option. You can come in here. I know you're not going to be able to read this in time, but maybe you can pause the video and check it out later on. But it's a really, really wonderful way to just basically bridge over it. You don't damage the roots. You get to keep the sidewalk as is. Humble opinion, I've yet to see the research on it. I think it actually strengthens the tree as well. So time will tell, and maybe some guys want to go out and do some research on that. I would love to know. All right, so we're moving on, you guys. So Jake is asking, hi, just wanted to introduce myself. This was 1987. That's 2 years after I was born, by the way. Shh, just dated myself. reducing back storm damage from the hurricane back when things were basic. And I personally feel not just basic, but better. And y'all did some crazy things like spraying it with that black spray paint. That's not cool. Don't do that. But what's up, Lucas? All right, so Rhonda is asking, I believe this ginkgo was planted too deeply, usually, humble opinion, just based on what I've seen. I wet the soil. Don't do that. Okay, I know what you mean. I'm sorry, Rhonda. I'm sorry. I wet the soil and tried to find the flares at the base of the trunk. I found one root that appears to be girdling. What should I do? Any advice on what to do or who I could call to look at it? I sure would hate to eventually lose this tree. I sure would too. Yes, you've got a girdling root. You need to go way, way, way deeper. I'm sorry. I know that's a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. Check it out. Y'all want to see something funny? This is what happens when it rains and you continue to try to plant 200-gallon trees. Is skid steers go in the hole. That's not what I was looking for, by the way. Let me show you. Oh, they totally did. Yeah, we lost like 3 hours yesterday. That's why we're still working on it today. Oh, we're best friends now, Melissa and I. That's not literally, but yeah. Oh, we planted the Japanese yews. There were 59 of them. So this is just like a quick little film. But you can see here, this was a tree that we transplanted. This one we truly did transplant. I know I got some of the root flare. I got up close too. You see here all these girdling roots. And the reason I'm showing you this, I'm sorry, Sophia? No, Rhonda. I'm sorry, Rhonda. I'm so bad. Is because this is what you're going to have to do. You don't have to use an air spade, but you definitely have to get after it pretty seriously and pretty significantly. Because otherwise, your tree's not going to do well. It's going to always suffer and struggle, and that could actually eventually unalive it. Now, I want you to take a look at this because this is crazy. I can't take a look at it. It's closer. Thought I'd be able to zoom in, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, we're pulling out some big old rocks, too. We found rocks that were like 18 inches by 18 inches out of that soil. This is why I don't like contractors, by the way. So if you see here, Rhonda, this is what you want to find. You want to find these roots that are coming across here. Now, we're using an air spade in this video. That is the best way to do that. Or an air excavation device, I should say. I got to come up with a name for it, like a soil destroyer or something.
Now I got a question.
What's...
They don't have an air spader, but they have like a pressure washer.
Yeah, pressure washer's good, but the water's going to pool in the planting site, so you may have to do it in phases. That's the only thing with the pressure washer. It's not always the best because it makes a mess. Ooh, look at that rhyme. That was fun. So the question Lucas was asking is a very great question because most people have access to a little funnel nozzle that they can put to the end of their hose, their garden hose or whatever. That's great. That actually is a wonderful tool. You don't want to hit it too hard with like a serious pressure washer. You want to do it from a distance because you can actually cut into the bark with water. But those little funnel nozzles are a really wonderful tool. The only problem is you're probably going to make a mess. It's going to be really messy. You're going to put that water there. And because you're excavating into the root flare like that, the water is going to want to sit right in that hole. And so one thing that I've done in the past is you could take that high pressure water, hit it, and then when it starts to fill up, have somebody with a blower or go get a blower yourself and just spray it out really good. That'll clear out that water a little bit and then go back to work. So that's a really good question, Lucas. And yes, if you don't have an air spade, by all means, absolutely, just get out the pressure washer.
Pressure washer to just use the air rather than the water.
Yeah, air's superior because it's non abrasive. It doesn't cause damage to the big roots. It'll destroy the little roots, but Now, what I did was I came in here and I snipped all of those little root flare, girdling roots. I cleaned up all of basically everything you're seeing here was cut. Now, I know that's counterintuitive. I know that just seems so dirty and vile and disgusting. But I promise you, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 10 years, 20 years down the road, your tree's going to thank you for doing that. So it may put a little bit of stress now. You don't want to overdo it. So don't go more than like, 10% of the root system, give or take. But, I like what Guy Mayer says. Guy is, by the way, Detective Dendro. He taught me a lot. He's a part of this group too and frequently contributes so much good added value. Is Guy will come in and he'll say, where was I going with that? I just totally lost my train of thought. On live camera, no doubt. That's how it goes. What were we? Oh, he says, well, if you can prune the above ground portions of the tree, why can't you prune the below ground portions of the tree? And it's absolutely true. Is root pruning, I think, should be much more commonplace amongst us arborists. So y'all grow up and start doing some root pruning, all you arbor jokes. Anyways, hope that helps, Rhonda. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling at this point. Yes, you've got to go deeper. You've got to go deeper. Plain and simple. Oh, what's up, Jake? Are you on the live stream with us? Yeah, that's cool. Lanu. We'll do like this one and maybe two more, and then we'll call it for the night. That looks like, what is that? A maple, Trident maple. This one has to take the cake for me. Wow. Yeah, look at that. They spent y'all, and I was at a wedding venue this weekend, and I was just so disgusted because the wedding venue, and I was talking to the owners. My friend got married, which is awesome, and I look around and like every single tree, 100% of them, young, old, in between, they are all mulch volcanoed. I said, how much money did y'all spend on that? He said, well, about $12,000. I said, well, I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but you wasted $12,000. You could have done that so much better. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm like such a jerk. I don't even feel right saying that. But yeah, you wasted all that money because all that money could have been put to just doing regular, by the way, colorized mulch, even worse. So, it is what it is.
So, Matt,
Yes.
so like what they could have done just by looking at this image, they could have barely put a little bit of mulch down
Yeah.
and then put like maybe the tree stimulant injections into it.
Root
and it would
stimulant.
get cheaper.
Yes, you could have done all these different, like all that mulch. That, believe it or not, you guys, that's maybe $200 worth of mulch. And you're like, what? Yeah, that absolutely can. If you get the good stuff, that could be like $200 worth of mulch. Now multiply it by that tree and 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 those trees, and all of a sudden you're talking like hundreds or $10,000 worth of damage is what it is. Just calling it what it is, y'all. So the mulch volcanoes are so bad. Don't do them. Why do we still do this, y'all? We've been talking about this for 50 freaking years. 30 more than I've been in the industry. And we've known that mulch volcanoes are so stinking bad. So y'all don't do that. Don't do that. I need some like video, some audio clips or something. I'll just play this instead.
Friends don't let friends mulch volcano. This is so bad for so many reasons. It's just no good for the tree. It winds up stressing the tree, and it's just not a good thing. So you don't want to do it. This is a very
Poor
big
tree.
no-no. See, the thing is your trees actually breathe through all of the above ground plant parts. So whenever you cover them up with soil, that's a very bad thing. It's going to suffocate the trees, and they're going to get stressed out. And you see here, as all of those roots get buried, the roots will start coming up for air. You can see these little microscopic root hairs. They're all coming up for air there. And whenever that happens, what they'll do is often wrap around the trunk. Oh my goodness, there's ants. I literally just saw my life flash before my eyes. Essentially, whenever the roots come up for air, they're going to start wrapping around. They get to the right level in the soil that they like the oxygen levels at. They're going to start growing around the trunk here. And as this trunk is growing in diameter, And as the roots are growing in diameter, it starts to compress against that tissue. The tree's unable to pull water, nutrients, elements, things like that. Thanks for watching. Fall from our great tree tips.
That's it. Y'all stop mulch volcanoing. So yes, that does indeed take the cake. I love cake, by the way. So great reference. I have a problem. In fact, you can tell. You're starting to tell. I got a problem with cake. All right, Helmy. What's up, Helmy? That's a very unique, fun name. I'm assuming it's not just American. You know, whatever that means anymore. So I am in. Yeah, we're about to call it. We'll do maybe like one or two more, and then we'll call it. I gotta take care of personal things, too. You know what I mean? I am in San Antonio. We got more. That's fun. We got 7 people listening. I just said that out loud. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. That's about 3 hours for me. Great part of the world. Humble opinion. This tree was doing beautifully, but when our contractor replanted it to put a sidewalk in, it immediately wilted. And he said, water it on a drip for 40 days. That's bad advice. We did it, and now the leaves have completely gone dark like this. The bottom of the trunk is still alive when you scratch the bark off. What can I do? They planted it too deep. They buried it. All that water is sitting in that pool. Here's another one for you. Screwdriver test. Yeah, I think you've got water pooling in there. I need to do one on the teacup effect because that is a really big problem. Are you serious? We can't comment on it. Oh, yeah, we can.
Volcano videos do an insert to it to where we can show what's going on. Like, you know, like when they cut a human in half, you can see everything going on in the solar system and stuff like that. I'd like to show how the moisture of that's being held rots the base of that trunk little by little over time. You know, because it never dries out, and then pathogens start showing up, and then it starts eating at the decaying bark or compromised bark.
Yep. Yeah, so I think, Helmy, I think you got the same problem going on that is so common with many trees. I got a video actually. Those magnolias we transplanted, these guys, they had roots that were like 1 inch and 2 inches in diameter that were completely gone. They were just like, I could literally crumble the roots apart with my bare freaking hands because they were just completely rotted out from fungus. See, the problem is whenever you sit them in water for like that for so long, they eventually start to, the fungal pathogens just have their way with it and they eat them. They just eat them. So it's just so common, and you've got to make sure they dry out before re-irrigating. The 40-day plan by your contractor clearly doesn't know jack squat about trees. Do not listen to them. They're bad. They oh my gosh. Contractor oh yeah, solo poner la agua en el árbol en todo está bien. Yeah, but like if you just like, okay, Helmy. Drinking water, I think we can all agree, is a great thing. Sticking your head underwater for days on end, I think we can all agree, is a bad thing. That's what's going on with your roots. That's your tree roots have been underwater for a long time. You need to stop watering. Let them dry out. Fire your contractors, at least when it comes to arboriculture.
It's just like skin, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you leave your hand in water for a long time, it wrinkles up, it becomes real soft.
Yeah, and eventually it'll fall off.
And yeah, eventually it can fall off.
It's straight up like that's a thing.
The bark gets weaker and more pliable, and so it just breaks off.
Yep, and that's actually a thing. When people drown, their skin sometimes falls off when the people go to excavate them. Like, not to sound grotesque or morbid or anything like that, but that's a thing. Is yes, we need water. Yes, water can unalive you. So it's too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And so what you've got going on here is your roots are drowning. You've got to let them breathe, Helmy. Sorry you're going through that. That really stinks. But you're doing the scratch test. You could tell it's alive. That's a good thing. Just stop watering for like 2 to 4 weeks. And what you could do, I give you that screwdriver test. You're gonna want to test it before you re-irrigate. Yeah, I think it is overwatered. So, yo, with that, we're gonna call it for tonight. Thank you so much for you guys for being here. We've had up to 12 people hanging out with us, talking trees. It's getting really exciting, y'all, and I'm so glad to be a part of this group with you guys. And really glad we started it because I was hesitant to even start this group, knowing that y'all would get crazy and just send me too much information. But I'm really glad we did. It's been really fun hanging out and hanging with you guys. Again, for those of you that have not yet, if you're hanging out with me on YouTube, head on over to the face webs and check it out. Maybe you could be our 10,000th member here. So,
We need to do the
oh,
I think we need to give it to Gillian.
Hunts. Yeah, no, he won actually. Yeah, so just so y'all know, we did do a free giveaway. And again, thank y'all for being a part of that. I'm not gonna show y'all here. I'm gonna show you the empty one that doesn't have all your personal contact information. We did a free tree giveaway. I wish I got a picture of it while we were there. I did not. But we do have a winner, y'all. We have a winner. His name is Griffin Hunt here in League City. And we will be planting your tree, Griffin. I'll be reaching out to you here shortly. Thanks again, y'all, for stopping by our little booth over there. We had such a great time just hanging with you guys and talking trees and figuring out your tree problems. We had a lot of great people come in and just talk trees with us, and we had a great time. Lucas and I did. I know I did. I don't know. Lucas, did you have a good time? We had a great time. You could see here.
Kid was the MVP of the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, bro. Sorry. Let me announce the winner, and then I'm gonna answer your question, Sprout. Absolutely, it's okay, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. So again, we had a great time over here. Did I get that picture of that tree? There's a tree right here. You can see the little pot there planted. A little peach leaves also. Peach tree, and it is going to Mr. Hunt, Mr. Griffin Hunt. So thank you guys so much for stopping. Just like 6 leaves. So that's pretty good, right?
But it was probably big peaches.
Oh man, I so wish I got a picture of it. So Griffin Hunt, I will be reaching out to you, and we'll get your tree planted wherever you want it, and get it growing in the right direction, because you got a really cool peach tree that's already producing. And y'all, we just had such a great time. Again, Kayla, if you're still hanging with us, thanks for having us out there. Tell your husband thank you. We had a wonderful time, met some great people, and answered some great tree questions. And we got to hang out with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension guys, Mr. Boone. I can't remember his last name, but Boone. Anyways, great guy. Great guy. I've known him for years. And had some fun. He was answering all the plant questions. We were answering all the tree questions, and we had a wonderful time. All right, so Sprout, sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. I've been so distracted, and if you couldn't tell, I got a lot going on in the world. On my autumn malaise maple, I have questions. Can I use weights to form better branch angles, because some branches angle up very quickly, and they're still young and pliable enough to bend? Yes, you absolutely can. It's not going to change the internal. And here's what I mean by that is whenever a tree grows, what's happening whenever a branch comes out of a trunk, you've got a trunk here, branch comes out of it. What's happening is on a cellular level, you're getting these various layers that keep wrapping like in a target pattern until eventually you have a big limb. So what's happening is the foundation of that is really narrow. Now, if you pull that down, it's not going to change those fibers immediately. But if you think of like a bonsai tree, a lot of guys will take wire and they'll actually wrap the branches and bend the branch over to form the tree. And what happens, because there's stress being applied there, the tree's going to fill in the gaps, and it's going to start recreating. Literally, it's going to physically restructure it to where it's going to, you're going to be able to mold it and bend it into shape. Very common in bonsai world, at least. But yeah, I think you're okay. Give it a shot. Now, if you've got them really, really tight and narrow, it may be better off just to remove it and let the tree resprout. But on the ones that aren't too bad, yeah, you can absolutely do that. It'll probably take 2 to 3 years before it's going to really form the nice U-shaped branch union that you're looking for. And maples, as you know, Sprout, they just kind of do that. They form those weaker branch unions. Real common, not a death sentence or by any means, but you know, it is what it is. So another question. Also, I did slightly plant the maple too deep, but its root flare is exposed and it is already established. So I do want to know if I should dig it and replant it, or if it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's absolutely okay. Make sure if you need to do that radial trenching, do that. But you know, to make sure to pull water away from it. But yeah, if it's already established, I think you're good. Yeah, they really are, man. Especially the red maples. All the red maples do that. Silver maples do that. I don't notice it hardly ever on sugar maples, but a lot of maples are so bad about that. Yeah, I know what you meant. The acute angles is what you meant, right? I get it. Yeah, we're on the same page, bro. Also, I did slightly plant the maple too deep, but its fruit flares are good. Yeah, I'm good with that. Oh, there's your questions. I think we got them right. Not right angles. Autocorrect did that. Yeah, I know what you meant. We're good. Yeah, you can definitely try it. Tell me how it goes too. I wanna know, because I've never actually tried that. But what I do know is bonsai, you can absolutely do that. So take that and scale it up. Because Autumn Blaze maple is a silver maple, red maple hybrid. It gets all the bad traits, unlike other hybrids. I agree. Yeah, Autumn Blaze and October Glory is another one that's pretty notoriously rough. I like October Glories a little better, but Autumn Blaze is just a not a fan. Personal flavor. That does it for our show today, you guys. Thanks again for being here. Y'all, again, continue to bring those great tree questions on, and we're happy to answer them. And again, if you haven't yet, hit us up on Facebook at Ask an Arborist. And of course, if you want great tree content, we've got this really cool YouTube channel that we set up a long time ago. We'd love to have you on here as a member and a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Just look up Arborist on Demand. And of course, on Facebook, Ask an Arborist. So again, thank you guys for being here. Look at that, 986 subscribers. That's gone up like 4 today. 373 videos, and we're just pumping out really good stuff. Humble opinion all the time. As I'm out in the field looking at trees, I come out there and I'm like, hey, this is cool. People need to know about this. And I'll just drop a quick video. And man, I've been like about once every 2 weeks, I've been on a podcast too. So somebody else's podcast where they're interviewing me and asking me questions. And we're dumping a bunch of those videos on here as well, because we had a great time doing them. And again, thanks again for being here, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye now.